Hello. All right, today I'm gonna do a tarot video for you guys. So I know a lot of people who are I guess tepid is a good word about tarot. They're curious about it, but they are kind of unsure. And what I tell a lot of first timers is that it's not what you think it is. I feel like in Western culture, there's this idea that, predominant thought that tarot is like telling your future. And I mean, yeah, it can foretell things and maybe even predict some things. However, that is not my primary focus as a tarot reader. I, myself was tepid but curious, about like 10 years ago or so. And that's when I, was starting to learn about it, and I ended up getting my first tarot deck, your typical classic Rider-Waite tarot. And I just couldn't connect with the visuals and the art. I don't know, it was kind of hard for me to interpret. So I ended up buying my own deck. And after I got a deck where I connected with the artwork and the descriptions and meanings on a deeper level, I started to understand how to read, and I started to, get deeper into it and understand it more. And through all these years, it's been an invaluable self-growth tool. When you sort of isolate within yourself and you can't always see yourself clearly the way you can see other people or how they can see you. So if you're having a hard time, this is the greatest tool for self-reflection, and it can give you just invaluable bits of wisdom, kind of help point you in the right direction. And that's more of how I use tarot. I don't really like to delve into those classic taboo questions. When am I gonna get married? When am I gonna die? It's like, you know what? In these cards, there's no dates, and we have free will. So just because you say, under these current situations or circumstances, this would be a likely outcome, but that might not be the case, because, say you end up changing your mind tomorrow, you make some different decisions, or anything could happen, and you are the creator of your own reality. So, or say sometimes a tarot reader will see something or say something, but say you don't believe in that, or you decide you don't want that to happen, and then you change the course of your direction. And so then I think that there's a small percentage of, say, false readings, or people who don't read as well, or maybe don't believe in those outcomes, that they won't happen, and then that leads to people thinking it's complete bullshit, which it's not. Actually, most people, especially first timers I've read for, they're surprised at how accurate the cards are for them. So anyways, I could ramble on, I guess, on that topic for a little bit, but you get the gist. Anyway, so I wanted to kind of give you some background on my thoughts about readings, and I feel like that has helped other people who've come to me. So then we're gonna just head on into the reading, so you can kind of see what it's like. Now I have like 20 tarot decks. I like collecting decks. I like collecting the different art styles. Some of them are just beautiful, and I like to flip through them, but rarely use them. And there's others that I go to all the time, because they've helped me out so much. And they're ones I'm more comfortable reading, and ones I think other people connect with. So my favorite deck, especially for first timers, is my animal medicine deck. So I'll try to get it where you can see. Now these are basically animals, mostly from North America. So there is like a bit of lacking. There's like no elephant or giraffe or monkey or anything like that, but it's still a really wonderful deck. And this one is one that it's unintimidating, I feel like. for people who are tepid about it. And so you can ask the animals questions, and they have wisdom to share, and or you can discover what your animal totems or animal spirit animals, animal allies are, and what they're trying to tell you when they're showing up in your life. Your power animal. You can have, depending on the different schools of thought, some say you have up to 7 spirit animals, and they kind of come and go through your life, but there's just usually one main one. You also have a shadow totem, or a shadow that it represents your like subconscious self, whereas your main one's going to represent your more of your like outer self. So you can pull in these different ways to discover the energies inherent within you that you share with these animals, and you can use them as symbols to help you along your way, or when they pop up, then there's more significance behind it. So yeah, I usually let folks pick from one of my 4 main reading decks, and that way, if you connect with the art and the style of the deck, I feel like it just makes a much better reading and more accurate reading. So and I like to mix and match too, so we can pull some from one deck and some from another deck, and kind of tie the readings together, and that's kind of fun and different, and not too many people do that I've seen. So usually I'll just spread these out on a table, and we'll discuss your question as I shuffle and spread them out. So we kind of imbue the question into the cards, and then you pick them. I think it's more accurate when you pick them, but it works both ways. Everyone has their preferences. Since I can't really spread these out in a way that's easy to show you, I'm just going to kind of shuffle and pick a random one, since this is kind of a sample reading. So, let's see what I pick. Ooh, buffalo. So, here's the buffalo. And buffaloes are about abundance because they're a big creature. So any big creature, this also goes for elephant, things like that, whales maybe even, they're going to be about abundance because they're big. They're a lot. So a lot of whatever. It could be, abundance of wealth, an abundance of health, an abundance of possessions, anything like that. So a lot of something. And they can help you understand the concepts of abundance. They can help bring money in. They're a very good lucky totem or animal, and they fed a lot of people. If you were to go out and hunt one, that fed a lot of people, and then you had all the furs, the warmth. I mean, it was kind of a symbol of what, like a luxury, as all those abundance concepts. They're associated with the direction of north, I guess, depending on the tribe or whatever. But yeah, they've been associated with the direction of north, which is your truth, that kind of thing. Prayers, that direction, and buffaloes are also associated with like prayers and higher spirits, higher realms. So a reminder to be humble, to pray, to give thanks and gratitude. Another big thing that they're about, thanks and gratitude. And it's a reminder to be honorable and grateful and respectful, that kind of thing. If it's upside down, it just might mean that you have some sort of a block or an issue with that, and so it's going to remind you to return to the gratitude and the prayers and the humbleness. So yeah, that's kind of the main pinpoints of what buffalo is about. And so let's see, I will pull one more at random. or maybe I should ask, should I ask a question? Oh no, I already pulled one. Here you go. This one's Lynx. So, as we go along, and the different decks would be different too as far as interpretations. But you know, say I pulled this, like, what is in my future? Well, I got Buffalo. That would be a good sign. It means that what you're manifesting is on its way to you, that you're going to have the wealth or the abundance or whatever it is that you need. And say then you could ask some things like, well, you know, maybe could I have some clarity on that, on this next step of my goal or something? And say you picked Lynx. And so Lynx is all about knowing when to keep your mouth shut. That's kind of like if it pops up upside down, the reversed or blocked meaning of it, because Lynx are very quiet creatures. They, although when they do make noise, they make some horrendous noises. So I guess it would be just knowing when to use your voice. When should you speak? When should you shut up? When, you know, when you speak, how do you speak? Is it in a positive way? How do you speak about yourself? How do you speak about others? If you're asking about it, this goal, say you had a goal or something you were working to, and maybe you should start, if you're having issues, start watching how you're speaking about that goal. Is it positive or negative? So, you know, or maybe the advice is to, you know, speak more positively or hopefully, you know, about that goal or that thing. And so, you know, it can teach you about that. You know, you meditate on its qualities. And they're very stealthy, so, you know, you might want to use stealth in your movement. They're sort of, you know, cats are known to be like nocturnal, so maybe, you know, you can look at the times of day that it usually hunts or sleeps, and that could give you a clue about maybe the way to act or what you might need, or just tell you about yourself something. And so they have whiskers, right? And the Lynx has these tufts up on its ears. So anything on a creature that's going up is kind of extending up or out, is about, it's like, think of it like antenna, and you're tuning in to your intuition, you're tuning in to the higher realms or your higher self, or, you know, great spirit, whatever it is that you look up to. And so maybe it's a reminder that you need to reach out in those ways and tune into your surroundings, tune into the details maybe a little bit more. They have spectacular vision and hearing, so maybe, you know, you can ascribe those qualities as well. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears sharp, pay attention. Where do they live? They live more in the mountains. They climb trees. So mountains, trees, they could both be tied to the higher vision, higher perspective. So you could maybe look at some of those qualities. You know, they're solitary creatures. Cats are kind of solitary, independent little creatures. But they also love and get together, you know, whether it's for mating or when they're raising their young, that kind of thing. So maybe this says something about your energy. Maybe you are that same way, where you're kind of solitary or independent, or, you know, again, depending on the question, maybe it could mean that's what you need at this moment in time. Maybe you need to kind of distance yourself so that you can get that better perspective, all those things. And they're about secrets too, which I think I kind of neglected to say, and that because that goes back to your voice, right? So when that knowing when to not speak is knowing how to keep secrets and be faithful about like information and stuff. Lynx people, Lynx is one of my totems. For Lynx people, we get a lot of folks who come to us and will tell us their secrets. And somehow they sense that we are trustworthy and reliable keepers of information, and we're not going to go and blurt it out, to someone else or something like that. So that's one of those qualities ascribed to Lynx. And yeah, so I think I've covered all those main points. Oh, wait. Last one is they're like bobcats, and they have the bobtail, the short tail. And on the top of the tail, it's black, and on the underneath, it's white. So it's white and black. So it's like representing an on-off switch for your Kundalini and sacred or root chakra energies. And so that's just the ability to know the ability to, and the ability to know how to switch energies on and off. So when you're say in action mode, when to turn that action mode on, when to turn it off. Knowing when to rest, when to go, when to those kind of opposites and the polarities. So they can teach you about how to use that on-off switch in your energy usage. And so yeah. And honestly, the more you look into any animal, the more you'll learn. So they're carnivores. That might mean you need protein. Question if you're getting enough protein, that kind of thing. So yeah. Anyway, I hope that this was a good little sample reading about what you could learn from animals and their symbology, and kind of what a tarot reading with me might be like. Basically, I'm just doing the same thing. I pull the cards and I tell you about them, and then depending upon your question or the knowledge you were seeking, I can help tie the cards, whichever ones, however many you pick, how they kind of tie together into like a little bit of a bigger picture, and maybe help give you some guidance or vision on whatever it is that you're seeking. So it's super helpful. It can give you a lot of wonderful insight and wisdom, and help you feel better when you're down. There's a lot of times, where I've questioned myself, or things where just, I wasn't in a good space, and then I go and I speak with the cards, and, sometimes they tell you what you don't want to hear. Not every reading turns out, super positive. There's been a handful of times, I've made people, get emotional, unintentionally. I'm like, I'm sorry, what happened? Do you need a hug? But it'll touch on sensitive subjects, and sometimes, there are times where the cards will call you out. If you're, doing something wrong, say like, you're being arrogant or inflexible or something. There was one time, I think only one time, where I had a guy feel like he was getting kind of angry at me because the cards were calling him out. His wife kind of nudged him into the reading, and I can't remember, because this was several years ago, exactly what it was, but it was like, you're being impatient and you need to be a little bit more humble. You've got a little bit of pride going on. It was some stuff like that, and it was kind of hard, to tell him, but I don't believe in sugarcoating things either. And he was like, what? And he got all stirred. I'm like, sorry, they're calling you out. And I saw like his wife behind him was just like, yeah, spot on. So I was like, ooh, I touched on something there. But yeah. No, sometimes you need to be called out. And so, I mean, no matter what, I feel like the reading is good. You're going to get some sort of clarity and insight that's beneficial to you. So, yeah, it's good stuff. I recommend it. All my tarot readings are by donation. I will do it online via like Facebook Messenger or Instagram. And, you ask me your questions, and I pull the cards. I'll take a picture and send it to you, and give full, long descriptions on what it means and that kind of thing. I prefer doing it in person, but I like to keep options open. However, I now only strictly will agree to do it once I have payment. I need payment first because I've been kind-hearted and trusting in the past, and said, no, you can pay me afterwards, it's fine. And they promised they would, and I never got paid, never heard from those people again. So that sucks. And I've spent a long time learning, my time is worth it, and all that good stuff. So yeah, I will do it online, but you got to get a hold of me. You have to make the effort, and you got to pay me first. Otherwise, you can visit me anytime at the shop, at our shop in town in Ruidoso. And I don't really do by appointment, just walk in and we'll do one. So of course it's good to check in with me. Sometimes I have other events or things on weekends, so just make sure I'm there. But as long as I'm there, and I am like 95% of the time, you can just walk in and I'll sit down with you and we'll have a good time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that enlightened you, and I wish you all the best. So I'm gonna log off for now. Until the next video, namaste.